Join David and Ross as they become discombobulated in Dorset. From pixies to poltergeists, witches to woodrows, hear them explore the legends, folklore, and outright weirdness of their own county. This is Dark Darzet, the podcast of weird horses.
This is Ross in Dorchester.
Hello, this is David in Wareham.
And I'm Henry in West Stafford.
And welcome to Dark Darzet. This episode, we're going to be talking about something called the Court Leet, which is an event which we went to recently. Well, it wasn't recently, it was in...
Ross has gone into serious mode.
Into serious mode, yeah.
Sorry, can I interrupt? Is it pronounced Court Leet and spelt Court Leet, or is it pronounced Court Leet but actually spelt Court Leet?
It's Court, C-O-U-R-T space L-E-E-T.
Oh, not C-O-R space T-L-E-A-T.
Not E-A-T, it's E-E-T.
How are you spelling space?
With like stars. David, what are you drinking there? That don't look like a local beer.
I'm drinking Guinness Clear.
All right, it's a local water. How dare you?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Is anyone else drinking beers, or is it just me trying to stick to the format and keep this in control?
The format?
Yeah, we got a tried and tested format.
What's Henry
well
lifting?
done,
Look
Henry.
at that.
That's a stein and a half.
I got a beer.
Yeah. What is it?
Yes. I don't know. It was something that was left over from a Christmas party.
What? Just left in the glass?
Just bottle it. Yeah. I believe it was a St. Peter's finger from some brewery in Suffolk somewhere. That was probably a novelty that somebody bought at the end of an aisle in the range as a stocking filler and disposed at my kitchen table. But it's all right. It's going down very nicely. There you go.
You're
supposed to drink it for your mouth, Ross, not up your nose.
I'm sniffing it. It's called capitalist hippie flower power.
That's so you.
This is a pale ale. And we've had this discussion about this brewery before, because they say they're from Dorset, but their postcode is TA, which is Taunton, isn't it?
That's Taunton, isn't it?
Yeah. So it says here, it's...
Burn them.
Why have you gone quiet? Have you moved? Oh, you've moved your microphone to drink.
Moved away so we can down his stein.
Yeah. There we go. It's Gyle. We had this conversation. How do you pronounce that? Gyle?
Yes.
59, which is in Sadborough in Thorncombe, but then it says TA20 for PW, so I don't think it's Dorset.
So where the hell's Sadcombe in Thorncombe? Where is that? You've just made it up.
No, well, it says...
Henry, you look like you've come straight from wassailing.
Oh, if only. Did
you go this year? I saw your sister did.
Alice went to... I think she went to the Dorset Cider Company. Well, I'm pretty sure that's Joe's Cider out sort of Corve, Swanage way. And she had a big bonfire and all plenty of buggering about. But, we did not wassail. I had shouted a couple of wassails and kicked my apple tree a few times just for good measure.
Do you want to explain what wassailing is to our listeners?
Oh, I'll give it a good whirl. So it's the ancient practice of wassailing your apple tree to wish in the new year and to hope for a very bountiful harvest. Mainly performed in apple trees. And where you usually have a vegetative deity of fertility, or a green man.
Yes, I've seen a picture of your green man. Yep.
Yeah. I'll send you one when I've washed it as well. and then there's usually a baddie. Involved, sort of the evil spirit. Yeah. And the aim of the game is to ward away all the evil spirits, chase them out your trees, shake them, beat them, shoot them with a shotgun. Not actually, sort of as part of the game, and offer your cider trees, your apple trees, some juice of last year's harvest, and leave a little bit of toast for the spirits.
Oh, very nice.
I do like a bit of toast when I've been drinking cider.
So you said like wassailing is it like that, like shouting, or what is it?
Wassail means Happy New Year, really.
Oh, okay.
And then, not really. Well, it's a term that's been coined for many a century. It's shouted a wassail to wish somebody well, Happy New Year, and all that.
Uh-huh.
And as part of my role as the vegetative deity of fertility for the West Stafford wassail, we said a couple of poems, and one proceeds thusly: "O apple tree, we wassail thee, hoping that thou shalt bear hatfuls, capfuls, couple of bushel bagsfuls, and a little pile under the stair." And then we'd offer the apple tree a drop of cider.
Yeah.
We'd put a bit of toast in the boughs, and we'd make a hell of a racket: crack, crack, bang, bang, jingle, jangle. And then
Did you mean to make that noise then?
No, that's it. That's the script, mate.
Okay,
and then we'd move on to the next one.
But who was the baddie?
What we had instead the baddie that we played, we had my friend Jace came as the woodcutter. It was very hard for sort of.
That's a baddie. No one wants him in the orchard.
No, he has come as the developer, come to take down that small piece of somebody's garden and build 18 houses in the corner where the trampoline was.
This sounds like a episode of The Archers.
Put solar power panels in.
Yeah. So all the kids chased Jace out of the orchards or out of people's gardens, away from their apple trees. It's lovely. It's a lovely little thing. It was very sweet.
You have to do it on New Year's Eve, is it?
Well, usually it's on the 12th night.
Okay, when's
it's
that?
A bit. A lot of the mummers picked up on the wassailing thing when they go out and do their mummers plays. And almost, you'd have a lot of the same sort of players. Probably, I bet the geezers from the Court Leet, or who went to go and visit T'other Week. I bet they've done a mummers play and they've wassailed in the past.
Is there any blacking up? There's always seems to be a little bit of blacking up going on at these things.
I'm not going to stop you, Ross. You carry on.
The Court Leet we went to, so we'll talk about what the Court Leet is in a moment, but there was lots of different costumes, people dressed up in like
even yours, Ross.
Yeah.
You like the pink tinsel.
See, what is the pink tinsel? I don't know. I can't remember this.
You did. You quickly cottoned on that you were getting a lift, went to the bar and necked 18 pints of cider, and then came back, all of it fruity with gay abundance, decorated in pink frilly tinsel from the ladies' loos.
So this is I'm sure this was a different night and a different person, because I have no memory of pink tinsel. So it was November, wasn't it? We went to see this in November. So we're really not up to date with our Court Leet reporting.
No, it's always the third week in November.
Mm-hmm. So David, you invited us to your Court Leet. Explain to us what it is.
The Court Leet is a small local court that meets once a year, and they go round the town. They inspect 2 pubs a night from Monday to Thursday, and then on Friday they have lunch in one of the pubs, which is kindly paid for by the Lord of the Manor, and then they proceed to the town hall, where they remove their costumes and wear fine suits and look a bit smarter, and they present back their findings from each hostelry to the Lord of the Manor. It dates back from late 13th century, when lords of the manor were in charge of administrative, not legal rights. So you have different members of the court testing different things in each pub, and it's taken quite seriously, but in a very mischievous and fun way.
So it's based on a real thing that happened years and years ago.
It still is a real thing, and it still does happen.
Yeah, but now it's a load of old drunk people doing it rather than the actual...
No. They do it to maintain standards. What did they do it for?
Maintain standards.
That's right.
So they all had different outfits on. Some like top hats, bowler hats, sort of white jackets, aprons and stuff. And someone was blacked up as a Rastafarian, which I wasn't sure what that person was meant to be representing?
No.
Or
So they're all quite kind of steampunky costumes. Some costumes are handed down. A lot of the roles of the Court Leet are handed down in the family. It's I was told once you can only join the Court Leet if you were born and interbred in Wareham. They do all have these costumes, but if you noticed, they all had one item which was exactly the same, which was a shiny brass medal on a red ribbon.
Yes.
To denote that they are a member of the Court Leet.
It was said here, so they got a couple of websites, that one of the guys, the Lord of the Manor, he was passed down from his dad, who did it for 58 years before.
Well, that's easy if you're Lord of the Manor, isn't it? Because you just live in the big house.
Yeah.
And you grow to a ripe old age, literally lording over everyone.
But
I think the Lord of the Manor now is Mr. Ryder's daughter.
Right. So that
website is nearly as old as the tradition itself.
So there's that. When you say Mr. Ryder, who's Mr. Ryder?
The Ryder family own the Rempstone estate, which is a lot of the land and houses around Wareham and Purbeck.
Okay. Yeah. So I was reading about the original Court Leets. So do you know about tithes? Did you do any research?
I do.
Yes.
Such a brown nose. I did, sir. I've been doing some research.
Yeah. I'd said it. I didn't mean it. He's not going to check. There's not a test. I think his patience is wearing thin with us, Henry.
No, not at all. Before we had the police, there was a system where 10 households would be grouped together, and if anyone in those group of 10 households did anything wrong, everyone within that group of 10 households, would have to take responsibility for it. So unless they dobbed them in, and they did a hue and cry, which is I didn't realise was a.
Oh,
if they did a
what was their song that was famous?
I'm not sure, because it was. I did recognise the thing as a band, but a hue and cry is when you just say, you shout out, this person's done something wrong. If they start and if they run, everyone's got to keep saying this, keep this hullabaloo up, and it's almost like a posse is formed. But if you don't dob the person in, that means
looking for Linda. That's the one you remember.
Is it? Yeah.
Hue and cry. Yeah.
Bit of that will be edited in a moment. Yeah, so if someone within your tribe, within your 10 households did something wrong and you didn't shop them in for it, if they got caught, that the punishment would be shared up within those 10 households. So that if someone did something wrong within these tithes, then they would be judged by the Court Leet. So that was how these were originally done. And I thought that was quite a cool way of having almost like self-administered justice, wasn't it?
Yeah. I can't imagine it working these days because the neighbours are so nosy, aren't they? And they dob you in for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. Having a bonfire in the garden. Having your apple tree grow over their fence a little bit too much.
Did you ever find out who threw the cone on top of your roof?
The traffic cones on our roof? Yeah. No, but when I get the little bastards. Oh, shakes fist. But since the cone's been on the roof, no one's parked there.
So there's a list of
swings and roundabouts.
Different officers you'd have within your Court Leet. So you got the Steward, who's a stand-in for the Lord of the Manor. The Bailiff is a servant of the court responsible for ensuring the decisions of the court.
The Bailiff was the chap who was organising the proceedings. Really, he was the chap, the tall chap with the top hat, who was explaining to everyone in the pub what was going on, and he called his officers in one by one to test and examine various bits of the pub.
He had quite a red nose.
But the bailiff also offered the office to serve the notice on the pub as well, didn't he? That we were in, and all the others in and around the town. By which a note, which I think for more atmosphere, I would have liked to have seen it sort of smashed on with a big knife or something on the door. But it was very well printed and presented, and a nice bit of blue tack. But still, he'd served notice to warn the publicans to say, just to give them a couple of days' notice to get their weights and measures correct.
Yeah, and to get up the posters of Barbie in the toilet.
Yeah, that's it. Scrub off the skidders from the porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
Get the cat out the chimney.
What happens these days is that when the Court Leet comes around to your pub and they're checking the toilets and the corridors and the measures of the beer and the measures of the bread and how fresh the food is, it's the pub's job to try and fuck that up as much as possible.
Really?
And just kind of play with it. So in the past,
it is now. It is now, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah,
Once upon a time, it would have been there for.
I did start that by saying nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah. Should we do it in order of appearance during the evening?
Yeah, if you can remember them. There's the Carniters or the flesh tasters.
So, yes, the Carniter, he's the chap that's in charge of the food. So the bailiff will call him forward. He'll take a pledge about testing things fairly and thoroughly. And then he takes over a little table in the pub, which is sometimes very difficult if it's very crowded, which it usually is. He'll take over a table in the pub. He's got a beautiful little wooden kit that he unpacks, and it has a little stove in it with a gas bottle and a frying pan and a chopping board and knife. And the kitchen from the pub will bring him out some food that he will then cook up in his pan, cut up and pass around to everyone nearby. And his job is to not only check that it's fresh and worthy of eating and worthy of selling, but nowadays he also has to guess what that food is. And if he can't tell the Lord of the Manor on the Friday presentation what he's eaten at every pub, then he's in trouble. I can't remember what we had when we were at the Horse and Groom, but
I was worried.
In the past we've had venison steaks, we've had moorhen thighs, we've had guinea pigs, we've had sheep's eyes, sheep's brains, ostrich, a variety of bizarre things.
Are you allowed to eat guinea pigs?
Yeah, as long as your kids don't find out.
I was listening to a thing about.
I think you can. You can buy edible grade guinea pigs.
Can you?
In the pet shop in Wareham, you used to be able to buy. I used to go there when I had birds of prey to go and buy rats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
People would feed them to their snakes as well. They're frozen, not the ones that were. I'll have a nice brown and white one, please, out of the cage. But in their menu of things that you could also order from this shop were frozen guinea pigs.
Really? So what type of bird of prey did you have?
I had 2 Harris's hawks, and I had a European eagle owl.
So how long did you have them then?
4 or 5, maybe 6 years.
Wow. Where are they?
The Harris Hawk, both the Harris Hawks are no longer with us. Thanks, Ross, for asking that question. So you're going to skirt around that one. And the one I lost, the one we lost to most dramatic effect. I was out lamping rabbits in Tolpuddle on a windy night. He was ace. He'd fly down the lamp and catch a rabbit. It was great. Fly down the torchlight in the night. But he missed a rabbit, came up, landed on an electricity pylon and blew up. Which was nice. But like Mr. Chinnery from Royston Vasey.
So what did you do with it?
Well, not much. There wasn't much left, to be honest. Just sort of went off in there we go.
Yeah, KFC.
Well, I won't need to go and get any more guinea pigs for that one.
No? Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was a shame.
What were they called?
Mrs. Harrison was one of them.
And George.
And then, and Little Man was the one that went bang.
Oh. David, come on. Show a little bit of...
It's shocking.
I'm laughing at the names, not the demise.
Shocking.
Do you know Mrs. Harrison's first name? It's a very formal title.
No, I don't, actually.
Never thought to ask.
I don't think
Did you?
we never got on a first name basis.
Is this the same bird that you used to tell me you used to feed very dodgy things to and then take the owl pellets to school?
Yeah.
Rob took the owl pellet. Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
So experts would take these owl pellets apart looking for UK kind of species mice and stuff, but actually they've been eating guinea pigs.
So we also had the searcher and sealer of the leather. Apparently he would check your...
Yes, so he's one of the first men of the night, and he comes forward to the bailiff and takes his oath that he's going to do his best, and then he'll set up station in the pub somewhere. Sorry?
He forgot.
Come
He's moved
closer.
Men of the night. That was nice.
So the leather man, not the multi-purpose tool, the
Wareham gimp.
He checks people's leather. So if you've got a leather belt on, you can undo it, give it to him. He'll look at it under a little magnifying glass, and he'll kind of test it, and he'll put a wax stamp on it if it is leather. So he likes to take gentlemen's belts, wallets, ladies' leather boots, and things, and put his waxy deposit on those. Mostly, he says that's not leather. You bought it from cheap pool market.
Yeah. Have you had your chaps splattered on?
Are you talking to me, Henry?
Who's the most likely to have arseless leather chaps out of the two of you?
David never makes a mess on the leather. He gets it right where he needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, too right. You should see some of Henry's antique waders. You've got some beautiful old canvassy thigh.
I have. They nearly got tossed in the river the other day, actually, but I kept them just for old time's sake. Just one can never have too many sets of leaky waders.
No. You need to put them on all together so that the leaks it takes longer to get through all the layers to get to you, especially in the winter. This will go out after I've had my appointment, though.
Yeah. Chimney Peeper.
Yeah, so the Chimney Peepers are... Yeah, I think they work in a pair. So the Chimney Peepers will come forward to the bailiff and take their oath, and then they inspect the chimney. So they've got a big brush. Obviously a chimney sweep brush they put up, and this is done because to make sure that the chimney is clean and healthy and not going to set the whole place on fire.
After the Great Fire of Wareham. The pub landlords like to hide objects up the chimney so that once they're nudged by the broom, they fall down. Yeah. So we've had all kinds of.
Is that where you got that little? That's where you got that little habit from, David. Was it hanging around the pub landlords?
When's the last time you had something nudged up your chimney, David?
The best one we've seen up the pub was in the quay, famously on the quay, where a small child hid up the chimney and stayed there for an hour or two until the chimney peepers put the broom up, and he then held onto the broom and pulled it out of the chimney peepers' hands and then jumped down the chimney. Yeah. So that's what the peepers do.
Pray silence for the bailiff, please. Pray silence for the bailiff, thank you. Quiet at the back, please.
Which one?
Chimney Peepers.
The lady with the glasses.
Your report, please.
Oh, Mr. Bailiff, we got to the fireplace, and on top of the fire basket we found the wooden duck on its back, we found this empty bottle of gin, and we found this Court Leet, the give up the booze.
Sacrilege.
And that we swept the chimney. It's a flue liner, not a full open flue, with our small brush. Fairly clean, a little bit of light dust, but acceptable, Mr. Bailiff, as far as cleanliness is concerned. What does concern us is this.
Giving up the booze. Give up the booze. To be honest, it would concern anybody.
Found this in the fireplace.
Oh, Mr. Bailiff, please. Landlord.
Landlord.
Hang 'em high. Come on, Bobby. All that lady.
Here comes Bobby.
Break out the gallows. Break out the gallows. Bring him up.
Bob, surely it's a woman's job.
Scavenger.
The scavengers also work in pairs, and their job is to check that the alleyways are safe and the toilets are clean. So
that's why they decorated
They
it.
will go and inspect the toilets. That's why they decorate the toilets. We've had them full of hung ducks and game and straw on the floor and dressed up as various shops around town. And I think this was a Barbie toilet,
themed
wasn't
one.
it?
Yeah, that's where I got the pink. Pink tinsel from.
Yeah, you remember it now.
Yeah, I remember it now.
So they'll go and obviously they can inspect the men's toilets, but they need to they can't go into the ladies on their own. So they take an unsuspecting young female into the toilets to chaperone them, and then they come back and they report back to the bailiff how clean the toilets were. And there is a trophy for the cleanest toilet in Wareham during Court Leet week, which
it's a toilet
is
seat.
a wooden toilet seat with it's a trophy.
Yeah, sorry.
With all the names engraved around it from previous year's winners.
I remember speaking to the bailiff about the trophy, and he said that it's an actual original wooden toilet seat from when the public toilets in Wareham used to be wooden toilet seated. But apparently the town council, over mass debate, decided and elect to remove the wooden toilet seats and exchange them for metal ones because of their usage and how it was tricky, which was caused much upheaval and completely split the town in two.
Yeah. And someone thought, I'm going to keep an old wooden toilet seat which has had hundreds of people pissing and shitting all over. And
well, now one of the alleyway inspectors wears it as a necklace and a sort of like an object of desire when and as a in celebration. But that's a rather nice little touch. Nice little.
Did you have a look of it? No. So
not this time. No, not this time.
The Edward Woodward, who's responsible for patrolling the woodlands and stopping poachers from hunting illegally. But I don't think there was any other.
Well, we don't have one of he. The best ones are the ale tasters.
Mm-hmm.
They're my favourites, and they come on quite early in proceedings. And they work in a pair, senior and junior ale taster, and they take their pledge from the bailiff, and then they proceed to their station behind the bar.
Mm-hmm.
They choose an ale of their choosing, and they fill up a pot, which is exactly 2 pints. Exactly 2 pints of capacity. It's an old tin vessel that apparently dates from the Crimean War.
Mm.
It's been assayed to be exactly 2 pints, and that's assayed every couple of years to make sure it's still legit.
Are you assayed every couple of years, David?
I'm too legit to quit.
Slightly under the ABV, the temperature was right. Nice and good. The big problem we had was under measure. Very, very small. There was a small amount as well, but that was not account for the amount you were getting for your money. Terribly under measure. Good point, but under measure.
You can wait a long time up there.
Senior taster, can I ask, for the record, as to whether your certified court pot has been assayed for 2023?
The court pot was assayed in Blandford on the 23rd of September this year in the brewery there, sir.
Do you have to shout it?
I have a certificate at home to prove it.
It's a shame you haven't brought it out, because this one says 1849.
And you had it assayed in Winchester, sir.
We had it 10 minutes later, sir.
So where's... I can't see the stamp on there for that either.
I can assure you, assayed in Winchester in 1849, and there is no more assay stamps on there.
They didn't want to damage the pot.
It's all right, it's just internal politics, don't worry about it.
A report from the old tasters.
So they will pour 2 pints into this pot to make sure that the measure is correct. They will then take the temperature of the ale to make sure it's kept within the required limits. They take the ABV of the ale to make sure it's the right alcoholic strength as it should be on the label. And if all that is deemed to be correct or within limits, they then proceed to come amongst the crowd in the pub, and they share out this common pot, it's called, and it's pretty heavy. And if you're the chosen one, they will stand in front of you. They give you this pot. You take it from them in one hand and one hand only. You take a sip, and then you give it back to the ale taster who gave it to you. You don't give it to your friend. You don't pass it round. You give it back. If at any point you get this wrong, which happens quite a lot, you then have to pay a fine. And there are fines that go around the whole evening. So if the toilets were unclean, then someone would be paying a fine. If the meat that the Carniter was cooking wasn't that good, then there would be a fine. If he makes too much smoke when he's cooking it, he has to pay a fine. If anyone's caught talking out of turn, and there's lots of talking.
And the
out of turn,
fines are
there's lots of back chat and jokes. The fines are the ale taster will come find you, and he will escort you to the bar, where when you then, at his choosing, he will ask you to buy a whiskey or a brandy, double or single, and it goes straight into the common pot, and the common pot comes back and gets passed around. So the first time you have a drink from the pot, it's pretty beery. By the second, third, fourth time around the pub, it's less beer, more spirits, and a lot of spit.
Yeah. And if you
and it goes round and round.
And if you leave your pint unattended, which I found, stuff gets dropped into your beer as well. I think I had like rum or something put into mine.
Yeah, so I think that's only the case because during COVID you couldn't drink from the common cup. They would pour a little bit into a paper cup,
right?
And then during the evening, people forget the paper cups and they just pour it into your pint. Yeah. When we've been there in the past and the common pot has come round, there's also a ladies' pot, which is slightly smaller, so easier to pick up in one hand. But of course, in some of the pubs that we go to, there's far more old men, far less females. So Caroline gets like 3 or 4, maybe more, sips on her common pot than I get, and I have to carry her home again.
So the thing about you having to take it with one hand, is that to do with the fact that the man who's holding it only had one arm?
No, I don't think so.
Is it just a coincidence?
No. It's just a coincidence. Oh my god.
Or did they remove it as part of like the
I think they have to do that.
That was one of the fines. The Carniter was offered an arm up in
so what's
the
this?
Horse and Groom a couple of years ago.
The pin herd will impound any stray animals in the pinfold. So I don't think they got one of those, but Wareham has got a pinfold.
Are you making it up now?
But hasn't it? Wareham's got a pinfold.
A pinfold.
A pound?
Yeah.
We have a pound. We have an animal pound, yeah. So there's still a walled pound in town where if your livestock was escaped and was wandering around the streets, people would take it there and you have to pay to get it back, which was really useful when the butchers had their cows and geese standing outside the butcher's shop ready to be taken in and processed if you wanted a steak. They're sheep and that would often wander around from that.
How long ago was that?
Thursday.
Really? I would have put past it. So there's a bed.
We should have more village pounds. I like the sound of a village pound. Have it. Just have it.
Yeah.
Just have it. Have one knocking around. You can fill it with concrete animals or lost property. The glove that falls off the bus.
We do have it filled with concrete animals.
Whereabouts?
Now we also have a pound savers.
It's down by.
Whereabouts is the pound?
It's around by the walls, isn't it?
Well, that goes all the way around the town.
Castle. Just above the castle. That isn't actually a castle anymore. You know that bit where the old brewery used to be?
Keep going.
No? You with me?
Where's Sean fell over?
Come out the Horse and Groom where we were.
Yeah.
Turn left.
Yeah.
Cross South Street. Keep going up there. That's where the old brewery used to be.
I hope our American listeners are keeping
top of that road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before it meets West Street. The pound's there. At the bottom of the walls.
Complete with animals.
Take you there
animals
next
in
time
there?
we come there.
Can you go and get one?
There are some cutout animals. made by school kids.
I never know if you guys are telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
Overseer of the poor to collect and distribute alms. Have you got one of those?
No, we don't need that. We don't need that.
Okay.
I mean, what does it? It must take 2 hours to get through all this.
Oh, they did fucking
And
drag.
so while they're doing this,
it was dragged out for fucking ages.
Because they do 2 pubs a night.
Yeah.
They go off to another one, don't they?
Yeah.
I think they came to us second. I can't remember. So while they're doing this, there's got the jury. So there's 12 guys in these bizarre, archaic dresses that are just hanging around the pub, aren't there? So there's quite a crowd of these people that come in, take over. The officers of the court do their thing.
What's the average age, would you say?
I think there's some constables as well, in case it gets rowdy.
Definitely some constables there.
It's probably a group of about 20, 30 people.
Yeah. How old would you say the average age?
Well, I don't think many of them have jobs to go to.
No.
And if I had to do 2 pubs a night every night of the week, I don't think I'd get up to go to work.
No. I think they're
maybe
at least in their 60s, 70s, some of them, aren't they? It was good. That's what I want to be doing when I'm retired. Yeah. I'm not putting shade on it, David. Being old, there's nothing wrong with being old, you know. I'm not.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. So we'll make sure. So one day, David,
it was fun. And then there was a song as they left.
Yes, and I've recorded the song, so I might play the song at this point now.
And then we had fried food. Ooh.
Yeah.
The last pub of the evening normally brings out a buffet for everyone.
I was expecting a buffet.
There,
but we had some chips and some and some samosas
and some beige things.
Yes.
I think I can remember the song. You know.
Come on then.
Little ditty.
We did.
I've been told more Henry and more singing.
Did it start? Well, first of all, they all warmed up. If you remember. The choir, the Court Leet choir, was asked to warm up. La 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 la.
I don't know the words, so I must.
Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies.
Something like that.
I think we hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merrily we roll along to the deep blue sea.
Beautiful.
Something like that. But Ross hasn't recorded, so apologies for.
I reckon, David, that even though you weren't born and bred in Wareham, by the time you're old enough to join their club, they'll be desperate for people to join it. So I reckon you'll be doing this in a few years' time.
I hope it's still going in a few years' time because, long ago they used to do 3 pubs a day.
Yep.
But now
got 3 pubs.
Now they do 2.
Yeah.
3 pubs closed last year, so they've.
Didn't you say that there was loads of
pubs left?
How many pubs did they used to be in Wareham? Did you say there was?
I think there was around 30.
Which is insane.
I've seen a YouTube video of a lovely chap that goes around, and it seems every other house has a pub. Yeah, when pubs were more like sitting rooms and didn't do meals, and you go to one pub with a dartboard, one pub with a cribbage board, another pub had a nice hot pie counter. Yeah.
Well, mind a bit.
And the beer was kept out the back in a different room.
Yeah. So
I love pies.
So the pub we went to was the Horse and Groom, and it
was. That's now Dorset Camera Pub of the Year.
Yes, I saw that, and the Dorset Echo Pub of the Year at some point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They had a recent ghost hunt there when I watched that on YouTube.
I did. Yes.
And there was a lot of discussion with a ghost apparently about a robbery from a nearby church. The way they was talking to the ghost on this, when I say talking to the ghost, he was talking to a torch which was flashing, and the flashes of the torch kind of like inspired a whole really elaborate story which they were making up on the fly and just saying, "Is that right? Oh, it's flash. Okay, I'm going to carry on now, riffing on this story." But it was they reckon it was someone who was wrongly accused for the robbery from the church. But so I thought this robbery from the church happened years ago, but it didn't. Because I found it on the local paper. Did you know about this? David, when...
No, it was. I've got an alibi. Amazing.
There we are. Explosives used to steal chalice from Dorset church safe. Do you know about this?
Oh,
No.
Go on. When was it?
This was in...
I love a chalice story.
It was in May.
Definitely a chalice, not a grail.
May last year. So apparently,
Last year?
2023, yeah.
No.
A criminal...
That couldn't be what they were talking about, the ghost.
No, exactly. That's what I thought. But it feels...
These were the same people that did the Dorchester prison thing that we went to that was badly researched.
Yeah. A criminal gang used explosives to get tens of thousands of pounds of secret silver from, which one was it? It was Lady St. Mary's Church in Wareham. Yeah. So
is that yours, David, or is that the bigger one down below?
That's the bigger one down below.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They... Oh, shit. I was just spilling beer everywhere. They smashed a lead window to get into the Grade 1 listed 10th century building and used angle grinders to break open a heavy oak door. Not an open door, because we wouldn't need to.
That would be pointless.
And then they drilled a hole in
time.
the door of a 3-foot tall safe before placing explosives inside to blow the door open. And inside...
Was it the Court Leet checking that the silver was maintained to the correct standards? The locks were the correct standards.
Yeah. There's local newspaper websites. The thieves also used lubricant, possibly WD-40, to prevent their fingerprints being found.
WD-40 is not a lubricant. It's a penetrating oil, isn't it?
Yeah. You sound like somebody who'd learned that from experience, David.
There's a can of WD cracks on your mantelpiece next to that candle.
So there was an Elizabethan chalice, which was stolen. That from Queen Elizabeth times.
Maybe.
It's a bit one that's suspiciously like the one in your lounge, David.
That was worth £27,000. And there was a 362-year-old silver chalice from Charles II era, worth about £8,000. And what's a cribium? Oh, it's for holding communion bread. That was stolen as well. But they must have known it was in there. They must have known what they was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, I don't have bloody beer over again.
And I apologise. WD-40 is a lubricant. It's a myth that it's not a lubricant. While the WD in WD-40 stands for water displacement, WD-40 multi-use product is a unique special blend of lubricants. The product's formulation also contains anti-corrosion agents and ingredients for penetration, water displacement, and soil removal.
That's good.
Use it on the garden.
Yeah, well.
If
do you use it for
honestly,
penetration?
If anyone's managed to get, I'm going to use it for soil replacement. I won't have to wash my boxer shorts ever again.
Yeah. So
if anyone's got to the end of this podcast, that's a fact. Yeah. That's learning. That's worth staying for.
So I was because on this ghost they was talking to, apparently they stole a load of silver from the church, and then they kept what they thought was real silver, and then they threw what they thought was silver plated into the river, and then but it was this ancient silver crucifix which was pulled out of the river, and that it was put into this man's shop, and then the vicar came and he goes, that's my cross. So they got
show me cross.
They got all of this from a flashing torch. So I don't know how they did that.
It is a shame because our lovely bar manager Joe, he had to stay up all night with them. I think they did it on 2 occasions, and on one occasion they heard some banging noises. So Joe texted the landlord who lives upstairs, and he said, "Yeah, I just got out of bed for a pee." So it was just squeaky floorboards on the ceiling above. But it's a shame because there used to be, and in the backyard of the groom, there's a small building, and there are foundations within that, and that used to be a mint where they used to make coins. Many, like hundreds of years ago. I don't know the date precisely, but someone got caught clipping the edges of coins. So again, this is why we have the Court Leet to maintain standards.
Yes.
And someone was taking a little bit of the silver off the coins and producing coins underweight. So when that was found out, the punishment for that was to chop the mint maker's hand off and hang it on the front door. So everyone passing by would know he'd been caught.
Nice.
Yeah. So why they didn't, the ghost hunters could have had a much nicer story if they've picked up on that guy. Or his hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, if only it would have been really handy if you were around, David, you could have told him that too.
I could tell that I could have hidden behind a curtain and whispered it as if I was a ghost.
So I was trying to find out more about this cross. So I Googled cross in Wareham. And I come up with a mystery of a cross in Wareham. So can you help us solve the mystery of the roadside cross? So, nestled in the long grass of a wild verge on the forest road that links Wareham with the busy A35 sits a modest white cross. It's on the edge of the Bloxwood Heath, a couple of miles from Seeker Trail. Anyway, on it is the date 1928. And apparently, since 1928, a fresh posy of flowers has always been put by this cross.
Oh, I heard this.
It's well maintained and clearly visited regularly to this day, but no one knows what it commemorates and who's putting the flowers there. So there's a couple of like legends about it. One, they think it's the death of a little girl. Because someone said they heard in the 1950s they heard a tale of a young girl who was on a holiday with her family in the area and was killed when a motorbike and sidecar careered out of control and hit them. And there's also some people remember a lorry that ran over a young girl. Sorry.
That's not funny.
No. It says here, the lorry ran over a young girl and burst into flames, but I don't know if the girl burst. Her nickname was Sugar, and the site is now known Sugar Hill ever since.
Sugar Hill?
Yeah. That's what it sounds like bullshit to me. But, so there's a cross in where on the side of the road from 1928, which someone
Let's go find it.
Yeah, which someone is still putting flowers on.
I reckon it's might be Sugar Hill because that's very close to the back end of the Drax estate, and they made their money out in plantations, didn't they? So maybe they planted that forest up and named it Sugar Hill or something as a nod to their plantations out in the
sugar
Windies.
Field. Yeah, the Windies.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've not got a big summer holiday planned. Why don't we do a camp out there for a week? If there's a fresh posy every week, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's do some real life research.
Yeah.
Well, we can take some flowers back to our ladies.
Yeah, free flowers.
I think I read about that, and I think there was probably another bad story in the terrible Bournemouth Echo about some guy had set up some direct debit to always send flowers there, even after his death. There was money for.
That's
a different story.
That's our episode about Lawrence of Arabia. Someone is regularly putting flowers in Lawrence of Arabia. I get Florist and Lawrence mixed up. We recently got told off on our YouTube channel for saying that Lawrence might have been pissed when he crashed his motorbike. Someone told us that there is we need to say that on the podcast now that there is no evidence to say that he drank and drove his motorbike. And we shouldn't have said that.
There's very little evidence to back up anything we say on these podcasts.
Right, thank you very much for listening. That was our rambling about the Court Leet. I hope you learned something. And next November, come and join us in Wareham and taste some mysterious meat and drink.
Yeah, we should go back.
And drink,
won't we, boys?
And drink some spit. Yes, we will. I will drink more next time.
It's not natural.
But we must maintain the standards.
We have to maintain standards. Indeed.
Okay, until next time.
Cheery boys.
I'm Ross. Bye.
Bye, Ross.
Bye. Happy day. I don't know why I said that. I've never said I've been Ross before. Okay, until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, Ross.
Bye.
Bye, Ross. Love you.
The court is now closed. In here, 2023, and as I say, I welcome the court's attendance tomorrow. Myrtle, over to you. Thank you very much, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
Can I have the landlord and landlady, please? Ladies and gentlemen, I think the landlord and landlady, we thank them for welcoming us here this evening. Because without the landlord and landlady's welcome to Court Leet, we would not be able to carry out our duties, our time-honoured duties, and the court would fail. So it's to the landlords that we place our honour, we welcome them. And the landlady. And the landlady, of course. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like, please, 3 cheers for the landlord and landlady. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Court choir, please. One, 2, 3, 4. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Merry we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merry we roll along. Oh, the blue sea. Sleep tight, ladies. Ladies. Sleep tight, ladies. Sleep tight, ladies. We're going to leave you now. 2, 3, 4. Merry we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merry we roll along. Oh, the blue sea. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Safe journey home. God bless you all. Thank
If you knows of any weirdness you'd like to share with Dave and Ross, you can tell them by email at darkdarzet@gmail.com or talk to them on Twitter at Dark Darzet. Well, until next time, stay discombobulated. Stay discombobulated.